Hey, before we start, a quick little disclosure. In the process of me making this video, WayForward sent me a copy of Half-Genie Hero along with its DLC. I played through a bit of the DLC. It's not going to affect anything in this video, so yeah. Anyways, on with the video. Back in the summer 2015, I went to PAX where I ended up playing an in-progress demo build of the game. Looking back on it now, the demo had snippets from the first 2 real levels of the game, as I assume those were the most complete levels. At the time, seeing as I had only really just beat the first Shantae and played maybe a bit of Risky's Revenge, I thought it was a really fun demo, and it had gotten me excited to play the full game. Now, back when the game came out in December of 2016, I had attempted to play it. I say attempted because I got exactly halfway through and lost interest in continuing. Why exactly is this? Why did I so easily lose interest in a game that I had not only been excited for, but also a series that I love? Well, I might as well start with the story, so sit back and strap in for Shantae Half-Genie Hero. The plot of Half-Genie Hero centers around Shantae as one night she has a mysterious dream about the genies who warn her about a danger that will befall the genie realm. Shantae does what she does best and starts fighting Risky the next morning. From here, instead of doing the logical thing and going after Risky, Shantae decided to be a better use of her time if she just helped her uncle Mimic. From here you go from level to level doing some very unrelated things from the story to help Mimic build a new machine. So that's as spoiler free as I can be for the story. I guess it's time to address the transformed genie elephant in the room. What the fuck happened to the level design? In the past, starting way back at the first game, the Shantae series has had Metroidvania aspects. I still say that the original is the best Metroidvania on the Game Boy Color. In a sense, the levels still have this, but these sections of the games are laid out more like classic mascot platformer levels. First off, there is no backtracking. Well, I mean, there kind of is, but each level tends to be segmented into 3 sections, with some levels just not having the option to go back in their sections. This makes the item collection very annoying, especially if you want to get the good ending like I always do. Of course, there is the warp dance that allows you to warp to the next part in a level, but as far as I know, it's only useful if you need to get to the middle or the end of the level, as you can't use it to backtrack, only move forward. Second off, completely ditching the labyrinths of the past games to me at least feels like such a misstep, especially coming off of one of the best Metroidvanias I've played in a while, known as Pirate's Curse. But just wait, there are plenty of times this game will remind me of a better Shantae game. And third, these levels are just kind of boring in my eyes. Sure, they seem cool the first time you go through them, but by returning time number 12, you start to hate them immensely. So they ditched a lot of the level design perfected in Pirate's Curse. How are the mechanics? Well, transformations are back for better or worse, and quite frankly they ruin the flow of the game. Nothing quite like slowing down the gameplay to a screeching halt anytime you need to transform to overcome a puzzle. This is made worse by the fact that the transformation dance is slow, and you can get 3 pages worth of transformations. Sure, you can buy an item to speed it up, but it speeds it up so much that you risk hitting the wrong transformation, making you spend even more time that could be spent playing the game. Seeing as there are 3 pages of transformations, I might as well talk about why this is an issue. So the first page gives you pretty basic transformations: bat, monkey, elephant, and crab, which should have been completely fine for this game. Then you get to page 2, and you get spider, harpy, mermaid, and mouse. The last page is negligible at best, being utility and something you probably won't use in your playthrough. Most of these transformations boil down to being only really useful for 2 or 3 puzzles in the game, besides probably the first page, which is most likely why I'm so confused on the inclusion of all the forms in the game. It's unneeded clutter and just bogs down a really flawed gameplay system in this series. Now then, remember when I said the levels basically have nothing to do with the plot? That's because when Shantae goes to these areas, whatever is happening is being done by someone who isn't even working with Risky, and these sort of act as a best of hits collection. I'm not even joking either. I can list in order of appearance: Techno Baron, Ammo Baron, Hypno Baron, and Squid Baron at the same time. This game also likes to have filler jobs in between levels as a means of progressing. I know I've talked in past about hating padding in games, all of mandatory side missions that are only there to block access from the rest of the game, so I won't go into it here. Just know the side missions take up most of the time in this 6-hour game. So I guess now's the time to talk about spoilers, and this being the end of the game, just know this has been your warning. I'm talking about spoilers. Once you finish collecting the necessary items from Mimic's machine, it activates and immediately targets Shantae. Risky shows up and tells them how she changed the blueprints at the beginning of the game so that Mimic would make a device that would convert light magic into dark magic. I'll hand this moment to the game. They introduced a concept that is actually pretty cool. Risky turns Shantae into her evil negative form by turning her magic into dark magic. Boy, it's a fucking shame it gets undone a minute after this happens by, and get this, the power of friendship. Her friends talk about how good friends they are, and this somehow turns the dark magic back into light magic. Are you fucking kidding me? The one thing in this game that I actually thought was a cool concept and wondered how the game was going to go about solving this, and it gets solved via friendship? This is such a tonally weird thing to happen in this game series. They've never had a big emphasis on friendship. Like, yeah, Roddy, Sky, and Bolo have been there, and they are friends, but it was never the focus of the series, even in this game. And yet, here we are with this 4Kids-esque Kingdom Hearts, my friends are my power bullshit! Unfortunately, it was at this point I completely checked out, as I realized the game had nothing new or interesting to introduce without somehow ruining it. Risky's level is when I realized this game was almost a best of hits collection, as I stumbled upon a mermaid shoot-'em-up segment much like that of the end bit in Risky's Revenge. Later in the level, they make you do some pretty pinpoint accurate flying as the Harpy, which, let me show you, has really weird momentum. And at this point, I almost feel as though the game was originally planned to have transformations on the fly, as the Harpy might have been an afterthought for this level. Specifically, as for the starting bit of the level, you can use both the bat and monkey forms no problem. Anyways, you make your way to Risky, fight her as she uses her pirate gear. Oh, thanks game for reminding me for a 5th time at this point that I'd rather be playing Pirate's Curse. At this moment, Risky reveals that her Tinkerbats have made some modifications to Mimic's invention. After a test of patience, it turns out that you've been transported to the Genie Realm, and the machine is still active, so it corrupts the entire Genie Realm. This leads to Shantae, who was previously told to destroy the Genie Realm if need be, destroying the Genie Realm to protect the world. At this point, with a volcano about to erupt, I figured the game would have a callback to the first and have Shantae fly out of the volcano as the Harpy. Instead, they do the slide level that if you fuck up at any point, you get set back to the beginning. With Shantae back in Scuttletown, we learn that the Genie Realm isn't actually destroyed, and that everything is a-okay, letting me know that this game had zero impact and didn't even need to be made, as it did nothing to progress the series. They couldn't even do one thing that could have, changed the fate of the series, getting rid of the Genie Realm, making Shantae literally the only genie around. Look, if you liked this game, more power to you. I went in wanting to like it, and I just came out annoyed and disappointed. I hate not being able to enjoy a game, as that's one less thing I can have fun with. I can't recommend this game. I would love to. I just can't. It underdelivers compared to the past 3 games in almost every area, relying on references and nods to past games to keep it going with no substantial plot to be had. There's not a single ounce of character development. Like I said, it's basically a best of hits collection. Anywho, I'm GbcTyler, and I hope I have better things to say in my next video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.